Hello student, good morning. I am Dr. Ajay Kumar Sinha, Professor of Chemistry. Today I am going to discuss very important questions based on chemical thermodynamics. It is useful for both IIT and NEET aspirants. Now I am going to start. Question is given like that. NH3 gas plus 3Cl2 gas products are given NCl3 gas plus 3HCl gas delta minus delta H1 and actually three reactions are given. First reaction, now I am telling you again, NH3 gas plus 3Cl2 gas and products are given NCl3 gas plus 3HCl gas and this delta H value is given minus delta H1. Second reaction, N2 gas plus 3H2 gas and products are given 2NH3 gas and its heat is given as minus delta H2. Third reaction, H2 gas plus Cl2 gas and products are 2HCl gas and delta H value is given simply delta H3. Means for three reaction value is not given, only delta minus delta H1 in first reaction, heat second reaction minus delta H2 and third reaction delta H3. What you have to do? The heat of formation of NCl3 gas in the terms of delta H1, delta H2 and delta H3 you have to calculate. Four options are given. First option, delta HF is equal to minus delta H1 minus delta H2 divided by 2 minus 3 by 2 delta H3. This is the first option. Second option, delta HF means formation. F means formation. Delta HF is equal to delta H1 plus delta H2 divided by 2 minus 3 by 2 delta H3. Third, delta HF is equal to delta H1 minus delta H2 divided by 2 minus 3 by 2 delta H3. Fourth, none. Again, I am repeating question one more time. Keep pen and paper with you. Then it will be easy for you to solve the numericals or whatever I will tell important points, you can note down. Okay, I will give the solution, means answer and explanation I will tell. That time you can note down only important points. Again I am repeating the question. Three reactions are given. First reaction, NH3 gas plus 3Cl2 gas. Two products are there, NCl3 gas plus 3HCl gas and heat is given like minus delta H1 in this reaction. Second reaction, N2 gas plus 3H2 gas, product is 2NH3 gas and heat changes minus delta H2. Heat is given minus delta H2. Third, H2 gas plus Cl2 gas and products are given 2HCl gas and heat evolved is heat is given delta H3. the heat of formation of NCl3 in terms of delta H1, delta H2 and delta H3 you have to calculate. 4 options are there. First option, delta HF is equal to minus delta H1 minus delta H2 divided by 2 minus 3 by 2 delta H3. Second, delta HF is equal to delta H1 plus delta H2 divided by 2 minus 3 by 2 delta H3. Third, delta HF is equal to delta H1 minus delta H2 divided by 2 minus 3 by 2 delta H3. Fourth, none. This question is tough, but based on concept, and you can solve it. These questions are not tough, very tough. All questions, whatever I will discuss, are coming under very tough. And now you think, how will you solve? At least in mind you think that what concept you will apply here, and at least in mind you think how will you solve. Okay, after that I will tell you its a correct answer and explanation. It will take hardly 20 second time, 20 to 25 second time. Just you think, after that I will tell correct answer and its explanation. Now I am telling you answer. Its a correct answer will be delta HF is equal to minus delta H1 minus delta H2 divided by 2 minus 3 by 2 delta H3. How means first option is correct. How? Now I am telling you, listen carefully, keep pen and paper with you so that important point you can note down. See here, what you have to calculate? Then you have to calculate heat of formation of NCl3 gas by using given 3 reactions. 3 reactions are given, and heat involved in these reactions are also given. First reaction, for that minus delta H1, for second reaction minus delta H2, and for the third delta H3. You have to calculate heat of reaction of heat of formation of NCl3 gas by the use of given 3 reaction. Question you can see carefully. Okay, then now I am telling you how we will calculate heat of formation of NCl3. Then now here how NCl3 will be formed? Then it will be formed from N2 and chlorine, nitrogen gas and chlorine, means half N2 plus 3 by 2 Cl2, it will give NCl3. NCl3. Then this reaction how will you get? By use of given 3 reaction that you have to apply to get this value. This reaction first you should get, then after that obviously you will can say heat of formation you will calculate very easily. Okay, then here what you have to do, that equation second just to divide, just to keep in mind you want half N2 plus half 3y2Cl2. Then you will get NCl3. Okay, this you want actually NCl3. Then for that you required half N2 plus 3y2Cl2. Then to get this equation or this reaction from the given three reaction, first just you make half of the equation second. Second equation means second reaction, make it half. Everywhere, left and right, both sides. Now, again you equation 1 also you add, means half of the equation second plus equation 1, both you add. And after that, you do minus third reaction, 3y2. You divide everywhere by 3y2. Third reaction. Then 2 equation second, just you divide by half. In that you add equation 1. And then third reaction, just to minus it. Minus 3y2 you do. Okay, left and right for third reaction. And then after that, just to solve it. Equation second, equation first you add, and third you minus. Okay, that but before adding all the things, first second equation make it half everywhere, and for second you have to not do anything, only you add, and third you do minus 3y2 every side, left and right, and then just you solve it. Then you will get delta H value also you have to write. Delta H value in the form of delta H1, delta H2, delta H3, whatever is given, that will be also half. Accordingly, if you will divide, then that value also you have to divide. Delta H value you have to divide. If you are dividing the equation, then now you will get delta H is equal to half minus delta H2, that you can write in bracket, half of minus delta H2 plus minus delta H1 in bracket you can write minus 3y2 delta H3. Correct? Just simply you write three equation after making what I told you, that change. Then you will get delta H is equal to half of minus delta H2. Delta H2 can write in bracket minus delta H2, equation second, plus minus delta H1 plus minus delta H1. Correct? Means that is equation 1, and minus 3y2 delta H3. Just to do simplification, then you will get minus delta H1 minus delta H2 divided by 2 minus 3y2 delta H3 you will get. Correct? Hence correct reaction is, correct answer is first option. Option 1 is correct. Correct? Because after making that change in the given reaction, you got NCl3. Correct? Simply you have to utilize your mind, and then you will get the, you can say, this value, heat of formation of NCl3 you can calculate from the given reaction. Now next question I am telling you. The questions are long because the questions are tough and may be asked in advanced level. Okay, IIT advanced or NEET tough question, all will come under the very tough, not only tough, very tough question. Hence you have to think accordingly. Now question I am reading you, second question, other question. A scientist need a refrigeration machine to maintain a chemical reaction at a temperature of minus 13 degrees centigrade. How much work must be performed on the system during each cycle of its operation if 3000 joule of heat is to be withdrawn from the minus 13 degrees centigrade reservoir in each cycle and discharged to the room at plus 27 degrees centigrade. Assume that the machine operates at 100% of the theoretical efficiency. 4 options are given. First option 65,000 joule. Second option 3000 joule. Third option 154 joule. Fourth 133 joule. Again I am repeating the question. Keep pen and paper with you. And the question you will get, that is not a problem. But now try to understand the question before solving. But you keep pen and paper. When I will tell answer and explanation, that time you can note down important points. Again I am repeating the question. A scientist needs a refrigeration machine, means refrigerator. A scientist needs a refrigeration machine to maintain a chemical reaction at a temperature of minus 13 degrees centigrade. How much work must be performed on the system during each cycle of its operation if 3000 joule of heat is to be withdrawn from the minus 13 degrees centigrade reservoir in each cycle and discharged to the room at plus 27 degrees centigrade. Assume the machine operates at 100% of its theoretical efficiency. 4 options are given. First option is 65,000 joule. Second 3000 joule. Third 154 joule. Fourth 133 joule. See, here I want to tell you in the beginning only, question is long, but don't separate from the question. You read it completely, try to understand, and then how will you solve, which formula you will use, that actually you think what technique you have to apply here to get the result, to solve the problem. Okay. First think which formula you will apply. Question you read carefully, only then you can solve it. Question is very tough, but you can solve it. It will take hardly 30 second time. 30 second, if you understand the question and if you are knowing which formula you will use, then 30 second is sufficient. Whatever time it will take only in simplification. Okay. Now you think, after that I will tell correct answer and its explanation. Just to think. Its correct answer is 3000 joule. 3000 joule. Means option B is correct. How? That just to, if you read the question, only then you can solve it. I will tell you, I will give this hint, how will you solve. Okay, question is long, but you can solve it. After understanding the question, you can solve it. Okay, little things only have to apply. Okay, then here question is that here what do you want to do, then you have to calculate how much work must be performed. Work you have to calculate. Work done you have to calculate. W you have to calculate. Correct? How much work must be performed on the system during each cycle of its operation. It is based on Carnot cycle. Correct? And then one you have to, that one is for one cycle, how much work you have to perform, machine has to perform, that you have to calculate. How much work must be performed on the system during each cycle of its operation. If the condition is there, if 3000 joule of heat is to be withdrawn, you want 3000 joule of heat you want to withdraw from the starting temperature is minus 13 degree, and from at that temperature, means at minus 13 degree centigrade, you want to withdraw heat. How much? 3000 joule heat you want to draw from the minus 13 degree centigrade reservoir in each cycle. And after that, withdrawing this 3000 joule, you have to release it. Where will you release it? Then it will come from the refrigerator to room outside, and that temperature is plus 27 degree room temperature. And you have to consider, assume that machine operates at 100 degree. 100% efficiency is 100% of its theoretical efficiency is 100%. Correct? Then which formula you will apply? Now I am telling you. Remember, you have to withdraw 3000 joule, and starting temperature is minus 13 degree, and this 3000 joule you have to release to the room. That temperature is plus 27 degree, and machine is working 100%. Efficiency is 100%. Then now I am giving you hint. How will you calculate? Here eta is equal to, means eta is the efficiency of the system, machine. Then eta is equal to, already I have discussed, work done divided by Q2. Work done divided by Q2. Q2 is heat. Q is heat. This formula, only this formula you need. That's enough. Question is long, but you require only this formula. Eta is equal to work done divided by Q2. Now here, eta is equal to what? Eta is equal to, given it is working 100%, means eta is equal to 1. And you have to calculate W. You have to calculate work done. For what? To get 3000 joule. Then eta is equal to 1 and W want to calculate. And Q value is given. 3000 already given in question. 3000 joule. Q you want. It has released to the room. Here temperature has not, in calculation, temperature has not role. Efficiency, that is a work done divided by Q2. Then work is equal, you have to calculate. Q2 is given 3000 joule and eta is equal to 100%, means 1. Then now eta is equal to 1. Then W is equal to Q2 and Q2 is given 3000 joule. And so work done and Q2 both are same. Both have work done and heat. Both have same unit. You should remember, work done and heat both have same unit. Correct? Both are energy only. Then W is equal to Q2 and Q2 is equal to 3000 joule. It is a given. See, question was long, but if you will understand the question, you can solve it easily. Okay, as the question was tough, only understanding it, after understanding only it will be easy. Okay, in question many things will be given because it is a experimental values. They are giving temperature, this, that. You should understand what is required, which data is required. Correct? That is simple, just like in your home, refrigerator is there. That type of things you have to understand, that that heat is releasing always, you know. Then that room temperature is there, just simply it is given. Now then its correct answer I told you 3000 joule. Correct? Work, how much work will be done? Then work should be done, that is 3000 joule. Option B is correct. Next question I am reading. Okay. The standard state keeps free energy charge and not charge change. The standard state gives free energy change for the isomerization reaction. Isomerization reaction is given. CJ2-pentene. It is giving trans 2-pentene. It is in equilibrium position. CJ2-pentene is in equilibrium with trans 2-pentene. Correct? This reaction is given. The standard state gives free energy change for the isomerization reaction CJ2-pentene. Sign of reversibility, it is giving trans 2-pentene. Means CJ is converting to trans. And its value is given, gives free energy standard, gives free energy value is given minus 3.67 kilojoule per mole at 400 Kelvin. If more trans 2-pentene is added to the reaction vessel, then 4 options are given. Additional trans 2-pentene is formed. Second, more CJ2-pentene is formed. Third, equilibrium is shifted to the forward direction. Fourth, equilibrium remains unaffected. Again I am reading the question, listen carefully. This question is also very tough. Coming under the all questions whatever I am discussing today, all are very tough. The standard state gives, I am reading the question. The standard state gives free energy change for the isomerization reaction. Reaction is given CJ2-pentene. It is converting to trans 2-pentene. Sign of reversibility is given. CJ2-pentene, sign of reversibility, and after that trans 2-pentene. And its value gives free energy value. Standard state gives free energy value is given minus 3.67 kilojoule per mole at 400 Kelvin. If more trans 2-pentene is added, means more reactant you are adding, simple way. If more trans 2-pentene is added to the reaction vessel, then 4 options are given. What will happen? Additional trans 2-pentene is formed. Second option, more Ch2 pentane is formed. Third, equilibrium is shifted to the forward direction. Fourth, equilibrium remains unaffected. Just to think, it will take hardly 15 second time, 15 to 20 seconds, not more than that. And after that I will tell you correct answer and its explanation. At least to think what will happen. Okay. Just to think, after that I will tell correct answer and its explanation. Its correct answer is more Ch2 pentane is formed. Option B is correct. More Ch2 pentane is formed. Why? Now I am telling you. Option B is correct, but how? Now I am telling you. It is based on concept. Okay. Here, just to understand that why more Ch-pentane is formed, then it is formed to restore the equilibrium. Because both were in equilibrium. Now added in the vessel, you have added more. What you have added more? Then you have added trans 2, means product you have added more. If more trans 2 pentane, that was the product, you have added more, then to restore the equilibrium, it will give Ch2 pentane. Okay, this is the explanation. More Ch-pentane is formed to restore the equilibrium. Sign of equilibrium was given. Okay, and correct answer is option B. More Ch2 pentane is formed. Next question. Actually one table is given in question. I will tell you. The table given below lists the bond dissociation energy for single covalent bonds formed between C means carbon, C and atoms A, B, D and E. Okay, which of the atoms has a smallest size? You have to calculate. Then for Ca bond, table you can see, Ca bond, its energy, bond dissociation energy is 240. For Cv, carbon and B, all are single bond, its energy is given, dissociation energy 382 kilocalorie per mole, all are kilocalorie per mole. Third, bond between C and D, its value is 276 kilocalorie per mole, all are dissociation energy, bond dissociation energy. C and E, its value is given 486 kilocalorie per mole. Okay, then this is actually bond dissociation energy is given for single covalent bonds formed between carbon and atoms A, B, D and E. Then values are given. What you have to do? Which of the atoms has a smallest size? First option is D, second option is E, third option is A, Fourth option is B. Again I am repeating the option. D. First option D, second option E, third option A, fourth option B. This is also based on concept and it will take hardly 10 second time. But question is coming under very tough. Okay. Just you think, after that I will tell correct answer and its explanation. Its correct answer is atom E. Atom E has a, can say, a smallest size. Atom E has a smallest size. Means option B. Option B. Correct? E atom has a smallest size. How? Then again it is based on concept. Concept based means it will take less time. Correct? Then now see the given value. Bond dissociation energy, just to check it. Highest energy is for last C and E. In table you can see CE, its a bond dissociation energy is 486. Then if bond energy is more, then it is actually in breaking the bond, it requires more energy. It means that bond is very strong. A strong bond means both are very close to each other, C and E. Then when both are very close, then size will be small. Size will be small. Then here, greater the bond dissociation energy, smaller is the size. Greater the bond energy, greater the bond dissociation energy, smaller is the size. And correct option is option B, and atom is E atom. Next question I am reading. The enthalpy change for a given reaction at 290 Kelvin is minus X calories per mole. If the reaction occurs spontaneously at 298 Kelvin, the entropy change at that temperature, 4 options are given. First, can be negative but numerically larger than X divided by 298 calories per mole. Second, can be negative but numerically smaller than X divided by 298 calories per Kelvin. Third, cannot be negative. Fourth, cannot be positive. Again I am repeating the question. Listen carefully. The enthalpy change for a given reaction at 298 Kelvin is minus X calories per mole. If the reaction occurs spontaneously at 298 Kelvin, the entropy change at that temperature, first option, can be negative but numerically larger than X divided by 298 calories per mole. Second, can be negative but numerically smaller than x divided by 298 calories per Kelvin. Third, cannot be negative. Fourth, cannot be positive. Means you have to calculate entropy change. Then this question will take hardly 20 second time. It is also based on concept. Okay, maximum 20 second. Not more than that. Just you think, after that I will tell correct answer and its explanation. Just to think. Keep pen and paper with you. Its correct answer is can be negative, but numerically smaller than x divided by 298 Kelvin. Okay, this is actually its correct answer is can be negative but numerically larger than, not can be negative but numerically smaller than x divided by 298 calories per Kelvin. Means option B is correct. How? Just to think, read the question and think carefully. Here you have to apply a formula, that is delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Correct? For spontaneity, delta G must be negative, you know. Free energy must be negative. This is the condition for spontaneity. As delta H is equal to minus x calorie, it is given question. Delta H is given minus x calories, that is negative, and temperature is given 298 Kelvin. Temperature is given T is equal to 298 Kelvin. For delta G to be negative, what is required? For delta G to be negative, delta S can be negative. Remember here that delta G is formula you have to apply. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Correct? You have to calculate for delta S, entropy. Then for spontaneity reaction, delta G must be negative, as delta H is given minus x calories, that is negative, and temperature is equal to 298 Kelvin. For delta G to be negative, delta S can be negative, but it should be less than x divided by 298. Use the formula delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Then delta H we have to bring minus negative, minus. Correct? Delta H value is given x minus x. See the question. Delta H you are using in this formula. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. and temperature is given 298. T into delta S, delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Then delta H value is given minus X. Temperature is given 298 and delta G should be negative. Correct? Then what will be the value of delta S? Then now easily you can calculate. Okay? Then S can be negative. Obviously delta S will be negative. Delta S will be negative. Can be negative. But value will be less than X divided by 298. Minus del X is there, you will be left right side and left side, then minus will come plus X. And T value is T into delta S. The delta S value will be what? Divided by, you have to divide by temperature. Correct? Then you will get X divided by 298. X divided by 298, that will be negative value. Correct? Hence, correct answer is option B. Can be negative but numerically smaller than X divided by 298 calories per Kelvin. Because in question at 298 value is given delta H value minus X calories per mole. Correct? And reaction, if the reaction occurs spontaneously, this is the condition, the same temperature 298 Kelvin, you have to calculate entropy change. Then by using that formula, delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Correct? Easily delta S value we calculate, that will be negative value. Okay? And value will be less than X divided by 298. And now next question I am discussing now, telling you new question. Standard enthalpies of formation of O3, CO2, NH3 and HIR 142.2, comma, another value minus 393.3, comma, next minus 46.2 and plus 25.9 kilojoule per mole respectively. The order of their increasing stability will be, you have to tell order of increasing stability. First option O3, first option all four you have to compare. And first option O3 is CO2, NH3, HI and second CO2, NH3, HiO3. A3 are increasing order. Third O3, HI, NH3, CO2. Fourth, all are increasing order I am telling you. Fourth, NH3, HI, CO2, O3. Again I am repeating the question, listen carefully. Standard enthalpies values are given. Enthalpy, standard enthalpies of formation of O3, CO2, NH3 and HIR 142.2, next is minus 393.3, next is 46.2 and plus 25.9 kilojoule per mole respectively. The order of their increasing stability will be first option O3, CO2, NH3, HI. These are the increasing order. Second, CO2, NH3, HI, O3. Third, O3, HI, NH3, CO2. Fourth, NH3, HI, CO2, O3. This only have to compare and you have to tell it. Okay. It will take hardly 15-second time, not more than that. But question is based on concept. It is coming under very tough. Just to think. After that I will tell correct answer and its explanation. Okay, you have to tell the order of their increasing stability, and they have given enthalpies. Enthalpies is given. You have to tell stability. You is a concept based. Okay, just to think. Its correct answer is option third, that is the O3 HINS3 CO2. Correct? Option C is correct. You have to tell order of their increasing stability, which will be more stable. Which will be more stable, that you have to tell. Then third option is correct. O3 more stable than HI, HI is more stable than NH3, NH3 is more stable than CO2. No, stability you have to tell order of increasing stability. Means CO2 is highest stable. Correct? O3 is less. O3 is less. And CO2 is more stable, most stable in this case. First O3, HI is more, and NH3, O3 is less stable than HI. HI is less stable than NH3. NH3 is less stable than CO2. How? Now I am telling you, listen carefully. Okay. Here I told you it is concept based. Greater the energy absorbed, less stable is the compound. Greater the energy absorbed, less stable is the compound. Or you can tell, more the energy released, more stable is the compound. More the energy released, more stable is compound. Because energy is coming outside. This means the molecule was very strong. That's why more energy is coming out. Or you can tell, greater the energy absorbed during formation. Greater the energy absorbed, less stable is the compound. Less stable is the compound. Remember, greater the energy absorbed. For here this case, here in this case, this if you will compare all four, then you will find that this energy, released energy, then here you will find that oxygen values, you can see all values, 4 values are there given. Then this ozone value you can see, O3 is 142 plus 142.2. HI value is how much? HI value is a very high value, 25.9. HI last value. Okay. And NH3 value is how much? Minus 46.2. CO2 value is minus 393. All values you see then you will understand that CO2 is releasing more energy, minus 393. That's why it is the most stable. After that in stability, before CO2, NH3 will come. NH3. Then NH3 value is minus. Two are in minus values. First minus 393, that is the stable, most stable. Second is the minus 46.2, that is the NH3. And third position will be HI, that is a 25.9, and highest value is for 142, that is the O3. Hence O3 is the weakest. It is coming first. According to the value, you have to increase. Plus 142, then plus 25 it will come. That is for HI. Third value is for NH3, minus 46.2, and lowest value minus 393. But energy is highest. Minus 393 is coming out. Correct? That was is the most stable. Minus value means this energy is coming out. Then maximum energy is coming out in case of CO2. Correct? And correct answer is option C. Today's last question I am discussing. For the allotropic change represented by equation C, means graphite to diamond. Graphite to C diamond. The enthalpy change delta H is equal to 1.9 kilojoule. If 6 gram of diamond and 6 gram of graphite are separately burnt to yield CO2, the heat liberated in the first case is, 4 options are given, less than in the second case by 1.9 kilojoule. Second, more than in the second case by 11.4. And this next, that is third, more than the second case by 0.95 kilojoule. Fourth, less than in the second case by 11.4 kilojoule. Okay, one more time I am reading the question. Listen carefully. For the allotropic change represented by equation C, means graphite to carbon diamond, means from graphite it is converting to diamond. C graphite to C diamond. The enthalpy change delta H is equal to 1.9 kilojoule. Correct, in this reaction. Now condition is, listen. If 6 gram of diamond and 6 gram of graphites are separately burnt to yield CO2, the heat liberated in first case is first option less than in the second case by 1.9 kilojoule. Second option more than in the second case by 11.4 kilojoule. And third, more than in the second case by 0.95 kilojoule. Fourth, less than in the second case by 11.4 kilojoule. This is based on fully concept, and it will take hardly 15 to 20 second time. You have to think fast. In exam, you have to think fast only. You have to solve numericals fast. Okay. Then you can it is based on concept. Easily you can solve it, I think so, if you will understand the question. Now just to think, after that I will tell correct answer and its explanation. Just to think. Its correct answer is more than in the second case by 0.95 kilojoule. Third option is correct. More than in the second case by 0.95 kilojoule. See here, you have to understand the question. Graphite is converted into diagram. At that time, delta H value is given 1.9 kilojoule. Now you have to apply condition. If 6 gram of diamond and 6 gram of graphite are separately burned to yield CO2, in both cases CO2 will form. Then you have to calculate heat liberated in the first case. In the first case means from 6 gram diamond. 6 gram diamond you have to compare. Then how will you solve? Now I am telling you. See, graphite is converting to diamond. Graphite is converting to diamond. Correct? Then in this case, delta H value is given 1.9 kilojoule. In the question it is given. Carbon in the form of graphite is converting to diamond. Carbon diamond, that time one delta H value is given 1.9 kilojoule. Then now you have to calculate for the heat released. Okay, you have to compare. Then carbon graphite plus oxygen, excess oxygen, if it will burn carbon graphite, then it will give carbon dioxide. Delta H value just supposed, because heat will come out, obviously it will be in the minus. Its value will be in minus. That you consider as a delta H, you consider as a minus delta H1. And second, when diamond will convert, diamond will burn in oxygen, excess oxygen, it will also release carbon dioxide. Then in this case also heat will be evolved. Then now again you think delta H value is equal to minus delta H2. Correct? Then now just to product minus reactant you have to do minus. Then first case only you have to consider, first reaction. You are comparing actually. Then first reaction minus second reaction. First reaction minus second reaction means minus delta H1 minus in bracket minus delta H2. But in both cases it is a minus delta H1 minus delta H2. Then first minus second you have to do. Correct? Then minus delta H1. In bracket you write minus, again in bracket write minus delta H2. That value is actually, it is 1.9, equal to 1.9. It is given in question. Correct? 1.9. Then what is the delta H value? After the simplification, you will get minus minus plus delta H2, and minus delta bring to the right side. Then delta H2 value will be equal to delta H1 plus 1.9. Plus 1.9, because equation 1, equation 2 you have added, that value is given according to the question 1.9. Then minus delta H1 minus, again minus delta H1, H2, minus delta H2, minus minus plus delta H2. That is equal to minus delta H1, from the left to right, bring it right side. Then it will become delta H1. Already 1.9 was there. Hence delta H value is equal to delta H1 plus 1.9. Okay. Hence for combustion of 6 gram delta H, 6 gram delta H2 will be greater than delta H1 by how much? Then 1.9 divided by 2, correct? 6 gram. For combustion of 6 gram. 6 gram is what? 12 gram is the atomic mass for carbon. You remember? C6, and then atomic number is 6, then atomic weight will be 12 gram. Then you are talking about only 6 gram, means half. Here only this is the important point. Atomic mass is 12 for carbon. Then for 6 gram means half. That's why total value was how much? 0.95 delta H2 value got delta H1 plus 1.9, correct? Then half of this 1.9, that is for 6 gram, that is 0.95. 0.95, 1.9 divided by 2, 0.95. It will be more than how much? For combustion of 6 gram, delta H will be greater than delta H1 by 1.9 divided by 2, that is the 0.95 kilojoule. Okay, today I am stopping only here. Next class again I will continue. Okay, thank you.